Song is the main character in the beginning of the play. His son's birthday is here. Song's mother gives him money to take her son out to dinner. Song needs more money. He stole his mother's ATM card. Then he stole all his mother's money. He bets money on horse racing and wins 4 million. Now Song took a loan from a company. That's why these people are after him. They abducted Song and severely beat him. When Song checks his pockets to return the money, he finds that he has no money. It shows his victory by horse riding. He then recalls running away as a girl as he escaped from them. Apparently this girl has burst her pocket. Song is poor, so he is given a month's time. In this time, he has to return his money. Song collects the money again and takes his son for a meal. Song later leaves for the train station. Unfortunately, Song misses his train. A stranger is sitting beside Song and waiting for his train. Song is a stranger to the man and has no idea about him. The mysterious man tells Song, "I want to play a game with you." He tells Song that if you win this game, I will give you 1 lakh won. Song agrees to participate in the game after hearing about the big money. After a lot of beatings, Song wins the game. This means that he is given 1 lakh won. The unknown person gives Song a card saying, "If you want to earn more money then contact on this number." Returning home, Song's mother told Song, "Your daughter is going to America with her stepfather next year. It is learned here that Song has divorced and his wife has remarried. Song never wants his daughter to go away from him. He wants a lot of money to get custody of his daughter. So he calls the card number. Song was brought in a car which also had other people. They all faint, and when they wake up, they find themselves in a facility with 456 other people. He was there as a player because he was wearing the uniform. The host of the facility was a man who was the head of the facility. He was watching over them. It was a common thing, the people who have been brought in have taken many loans. Song meets player number 1. He was an old man. He has a brain tumor, that's why he was brought here. His life was also about to end. A fight between 2 players, in which the girl was named Sae Byok and the boy was named Jung. Sae Byok was the girl who stole Seog's money. He has cut his pocket. Song recognizes her on sight. He goes to her to ask her about her money. Meanwhile, some guards arrive in pink uniforms. Their faces were covered. The guard said to the players, "You all have to play a total of 6 games here. The winner of this game will get a huge amount of money." His signatures were obtained on a contract. The first rule of this contract is that no player can voluntarily leave the game. The second rule is that the player who is unable to play will be removed from the game. What does the word abolition mean to them? We'll find out later. The third rule was that if the majority of the players were not willing to play the game, they could leave the game. After this he was taken to play the game. Song meets his classmate Sangwoo, who has known him since childhood. Song is shocked to see her as he is out of the country on business. There was a giant doll for the first game. The rule of this game was so simple. That was, they have to move whenever the doll sings. They have to stop because it will stop singing. No need to move. If someone moves forward, he will be removed. At first everything seemed like a joke. But when a boy walks in he is shot dead. It meant erasing. It means that they will be finished. Seeing this they all panic. They realize that they are in danger. They are scared and fearful, so they wander. Now what was going on by the rules of the game will end. The survivors somehow completed the game. The bodies were removed, leaving only 255 players out of a total of 456. All the players were scared, now no one wants to play the game. As rule number 3 was, if the majority wants they can leave the game. The frontman processes the voting before the price amount is shown. The money will go to the winner. But if they leave the game then this money will be given to the family of the deceased player. The prize money totaled 45 billion won. Voting is done in which the majority did not want to play the game. So the game stopped there. If they want, they can join the game again in the future. All of them were taken to their homes. The next day Song tells everything to the police while going to the police station. But they didn't believe in Song. They think he is crazy. Song shows them the card, but surprisingly the number on it was wrong. Song returns home, but his mother was not there. Song's classmate Sangwoo was secretly watching his mother. Meanwhile, Song arrives. Sangwoo tells Song to be upset that I am under 6 billion debt. He tells that I have put clients' money in stock margin. Alas, all the money was lost. Song gets a call from the hospital. Song's mother's leg is injured. Due to not being able to cure diabetes, his wound had become bigger. The doctor informs Song that your mother can be treated, but to do so we will have to amputate her leg. This operation requires a lot of money. It's clear that Song doesn't even have money. He's exhausted his mother's insurance money. Song goes to his wife to ask for money. His wife refused to give him the money. His wife tells that her husband Song has come to ask for money. Her husband comes to give money to Song and says, "Stay away from my family." Song starts beating her when his daughter also comes. Thereafter, Song's friend approaches his boss to ask for money. When his boss refused to give the money, a fight broke out between them. During a fight, his boss's hand is injured in a machine. Taking the opportunity, Song's friend runs away with the money. Returning home, Song's friend asks his wife to take the first flight and leave. Se-byok meets an agent. Because he has to transfer his mother from north to south region. Se-byok steals Song's money. He needs money to bring his mother. Se-byok has an older brother and has promised to bring up his mother. Later, an officer was shown that his brother was missing. The officer goes to his brother's house. He learns that his brother has not come to his house for the last few days. While checking the house, the officer finds a card there. The officer has seen the same card with Song at the police station. The officer approaches Song and inquires about it, but Song refuses to answer. When Song returns home, he finds the card again. Song decides that he will be involved in the sport again. Only then all the players were taken to a ship. The officer also arrives following the cars. He finishes off the guard and throws him overboard. Players were transported to a facility on an island. He has no idea about the next game and how it will be played. They form their own teams. Se-byok and her girlfriend go to the toilet at night. Escaping from the guards, Se-byok explores the facility. He saw that the guards were cooking something in big pots. The guard gets suspicious and a guard comes to check the washroom. By then Se-byok is back. Se-byok tells her girlfriend everything she sees. But Sangwoo overhears them. He asks Se-byok about it. She tells him that they were cooking something in big pots. After this, all the players were taken to the playground. There were 4 figures in front of them and they had to choose one. Sangwoo finds out about the game and what is he to do? Sangwoo tells Song that they all have to choose different sizes. After this they were given a small pot, in which figures were made. His game is to shape up somehow. Without any damage, but if the size is D size they will be finished. That means it will end. Sangwoo shapes up easily. Panicked, Song's condition worsens. But then somehow he wins the game. They were taken back to the rooms. 187 players returned and now 108 of them remain. After this, they were taken to have food. Jung fights with a boy because of food. Jung beats up the boy, he kills the boy on the spot. A doctor is shown among the players. It sells the organs of dead people to the Chinese with the help of guards. So whenever the dead bodies were taken away, they used to make them disappear. It was all happening under a plan. This was happening secretly from the person in front. That's why they put their own man in the control room. He used to delete all his video footage. The guards already know about the game to the doctor, so that he may live. A guard tells the doctor that today we have given less food to the players, so they will fight together. Because of this, all the weak players will be out of the game. With that, the guard tells the doctor about their next game. Now after 30 minutes the light was about to go off. Sang-wook knows that Song's team will do something stupid. He calls the team and asks them to be comfortable. Dr. Killardy joins Jung's team. Here, the doctor tells Jung about the next game. After this the lights go off and Jang along with his team beats up everyone. After eliminating a girl, Jung goes on to eliminate Sae Byok. But Song saves her. The guards came and forbade them, now only 80 people were left. He was later picked up for the third game. They were asked to form a team of 10 players. They do the same and make their own team. Jang, aware of the coming game, does not include Sae female Byok's friend in his team. He forms his team consisting only of males. Sang-woo also forms his own team because he needs a player. So Sae female Byok's friend joins them. Actually this game was tug of war. That means they have to demolish the team in front of them. The game begins. Jong's team easily wins the game. Now it was Sang-woo's team's turn. Player number 1, the old man says that I have played many tug-of-war games in my life. So he guides them how to win this game. They've somehow won the game. The light is turned off after 30 minutes. At this, Sang-woo asks them to be ready. They decide that they will guard one by one. Jung's team had intelligent players, so Jung was afraid that his team would cut him off. Now the doctor and the guard removed the organs of the dead bodies. Guard numbers 28 and 29 will go for the delivery of these organs. They talk of a dead body having one kidney and call it a zombie. Guard number 29 was none other than the officer who was supposed to deliver the organs. He comes dressed as a guard and suspects that they are talking about my brother, because he also has a kidney. Then numbers 28 and 29 go on to deliver the organs. On the way the officer saw a bomb in the tunnel. Number 28 tells him that this place will explode when we go outside. Officer 28 tries to get more information from number 28. Number 28 suspects him. He asks the officer to show his face. The officer pointed his gun at number 29, showing his face. The officer asks him about the person with one kidney. Who is that you call a zombie? Number 28 says she was a girl. And says that he can go to the leader's room and get all the information. Everyone has data. Knowing this, the officer eliminates issue 28. On the other hand, the doctor asks the guard about the next game. But this time even the guards don't know about the next game. The doctor gets furious. He fights off the guards while holding them off, and the doctor escapes after finishing off the guards. A guard also follows him and reaches a playground. The guard was about to finish off the doctor by trapping him. The leader comes and finishes him off later. He finishes off the doctor as well. On the way, he also finds the dead body of number 28. He knows there is someone in the facility. The officer reaches the leader's room. While investigating, he reaches a room where everyone's records were there. The official checks and finds the records of the winners. His brother's name was, that means he was the winner. The players were taken for the fourth game. They were asked to choose their partner. Players do the same and choose their partners. Sae Byok's female friend also tries to find her partner. No one was ready to be his companion. After that, 10 marbles are given to each player. The game is that the player has to take all the marbles from his partner, without forcing him. The other person who has no marbles will be eliminated. Sang-woo and Song's friends play the odd and even game. They have to guess how many marbles are in the other person's hand. Song's friend wins all of Sang-woo's marbles. As a result, Sang-woo only has one marble left in the final round. Sang-wook knows that his life will now be over. He traps Song's friend and makes him believe, if one of us loses, his match will be held again. Sang-woo cheats and switches marbles with Song's friend. Sang-woo takes the marbles and gives them to the guards. He leaves from there. Song's friend checks the marbles, but there were stones. Player number 1's condition was even worse. That's why he was running hither and thither. Song makes her play and they play even and odd games. The old man wins all of Song's marbles. But in the last round the old man forgets what he has chosen. Song takes her marbles, framing her. But the old man was clever, he kept a marble. He wanders off again, requesting Song to play another game with him again. The old man says, I know that you cheated and took all the marbles from me. He says I knew everything but I was acting like a fool. Hearing this, Seenorg felt pity on him and gave all the marbles to him. Sae Byok and his girlfriend were also playing the game. Their game is, whoever throws marbles near the wall wins. First, Sae Byok throws his marble. When it was Sae Byok's friend's turn, she threw away all her marbles. Seeing this, Sae Byok asks her friend to throw it again. Her friend says, no Sae Byok, I am alone, there is no one behind me. But if something bad happens to you it will not be good. Your older brother is waiting for you. Sae Byok's friend was over. Their bodies were taken from there. They return to the rooms. Jang notices that Sae Byok's friend is still alive. She was sitting quietly. Here it is shown that Sae Byok's friend was also Jang's friend. There was a reason why they clashed. Jang's friend threatens him. Later, the person in front found the officer's identity card near a dead body. Then the frontman learns that his VIP has arrived. The person in front moves forward to receive them. All VIPs were taken to the rooms. And the frontman later tells about the arrival of another man in the VIP. He was the main character whom we will learn about later. The next day, they were all brought in for the 5th game. The numbers were from 1 to 16. Players will take their number. That is, their turn will be according to their number. The first and the last numbers are left in the last. That means 1 and 16. Song gets confused which number to pick. If he chooses the first option, he will be stuck because he is unfamiliar with the game. If he chooses the last number, it is possible that his turn may not come. Meanwhile, a man comes due to short time and tells Song that I want the first number. Because I've never been number 1 in my life. He was taken to a gaming room. The rule of the game is that they have to cross the bridge in the given time. There were 2 glasses in the middle of the bridge. One was ordinary glass but the other was tempered glass. Ordinary glass will shatter when they step on it. They will fall down. The game starts again, and they are eliminated one by one. The war was in front of everyone and was not progressing. They have only one way, go ahead or die here. Jang's friend comes forward who was bullying her, she says. I told you when you cheated on me that I will finish you. She grabs Jang and jumps because of him, they both were eliminated. There was a man who worked in a glass company. He knew which one was tempered glass. When the frontman learns of this, he turns off the lights. That's why they will not be able to recognize the mirror. They don't have time for the last step, so Sang-woo pushes the man away. Sang-woo, Song and Sae Byok have crossed the bridge. But he was injured when the glass broke. Sae Byok was also hurt. On the other hand, the officer has finished him and taken the place of the servant. A VIP suspects the officer. He asks her to remove the mask. The officer says okay, but I will remove my mask before going inside. Then the officer went inside with the VIP. Going inside, the officer renders the VIP unconscious and the person in front comes to know. The man in front follows him and sees the officer. The officer escapes and reaches an island. The person in front also comes following him. The officer tries to call his superiors. But the call gets disconnected. The officer sends him all the evidence, but there was no network. The person in front grabs the officer and asks him to walk with him. But the officer opened fire on the person in front. When the man in front takes off his mask, the officer realizes that this brother is none other than him. The officer's brother, i.e. the person in front, shoots him. He falls into the water. Sae Byok is injured by the glass. He was bleeding. Then the survivors were taken to dinner. He also had a knife with him. This means that in the night any one of them will kill someone. Song notices that Sae Byok is in bad shape. He tells Sae Byok not to worry, we are together and will defeat Sang-woo. Then we will go and distribute the money. Sae Byok tells her that I have an older brother whom I have left at an orphanage. If one of us goes out, he should take care of both the families. Sae Byok's condition is bad, he needs a doctor. Song goes to ask for help, but when he comes back, Sang-woo has finished off Sae Byok. The next day, he was taken for the last game. The rule of the game was simple: die to die. This game was named Squid Game. The game starts and there is a big fight between them. In the end, Sang-woo's condition worsens. Song says, I want to stop this game. Song asks Sang-woo to come with him. Sang-woo gets himself eliminated and this causes Song to win the game. The person in front tells Song that you have played well, but I did not expect this. Then Song was dropped at his home. He has an ATM card. When he checks it, he sees that all his money has been transferred. Song goes to his house, but his mother dies before he can. The scene is shown a year later. Song's condition was worse and he used to take drugs. He hasn't used the money yet. A woman who was selling flowers comes to Song and gives him the same card. An address was mentioned on it. Song went to the address. There he learns that all this has been done by the old man, player number 1. He is still alive, and the old man tells Song that he is tired of his life. I've made these games with my clients. That's why I will be happy to see people die. But we did not force anyone to do so. I took part in the game because it is more fun to play than to watch. He says, the money you have is mine. Saying this, the old man dies. After this, Song goes to Sae Byok's older brother. He leaves him with Sang-woo's mother and asks her to take care of this child. He also gives her a bag full of money. Song goes to the station and the same unknown person, whom he met at the beginning of the film. Song chases after her, but she runs away. Then Song calls the card number and asks who are they and why are they doing this to people? Why are you playing with the lives of others? But the response was, Song, get on a plane if you want to live. This is the end. Thanks for watching.